Man, Fulham looked like they had just came out the chicken shop, got a good freaking meal, chips, chicken, drink, but the only thing they forgot was the sauce. And who came in with the sauce in the second half? Chelsea.
They did indeed.
It was a Pedro Neto that scored, actually.
Neto,
yes,
yeah.
it was Pedro Neto.
Banger.
That was crazy. Did you
I
see that?
screamed when that goal went in. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but it was a good goal.
Man,
It was a good goal.
it was a wonderful goal.
Just a
Man said
touch,
power.
turn, bang.
Power. Bang. He just shot that in the net.
It was a good goal.
Yo, welcome back to Mentor Boys, the podcast that gives you culture, vibes, and beautiful football. We are the boys down under, and we're here to review the match Chelsea against Fulham. The West London, I wouldn't say derby, but the West London fight for your life because, well, basically Chelsea's life because
They needed it.
They needed it, man. Now the game, a lot of people would say boring. A lot of people would say not much action. But I feel like there was something very interesting in that game that I want to highlight. And I want to highlight this first before I get really into the game. I want to talk about who is that new bloke that scored with Chelsea. What's his name? Tyreek George. A lot of people are asking, who is he?
Never heard of that name before.
Never heard of him.
Until yesterday. I feel like Nicholas Jackson is competition.
On a young bloke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Let's jump into it like a kangaroo
Yeah.
pouch.
let's jump into it like a kangaroo pouch. Now, Tyreek George, Chelsea youth player, has been given the opportunity to come up and showcase his skills. Now, this is not the first time he's actually came up. He came up during the Conference League against Lagia, whatever you guys call it. One of them farmer teams. I don't care. But anyways, he had come in. He scored a tap in. Yes, doesn't sound amazing, but he's still a young bloke. Let's make sure we keep that in our heads. Yeah? He's still a young bloke. Now, Maresca has then again, go on, give the guy a chance. One more time. Taking out Nicholas Jackson, the guy who can't find the net. Nicholas Jackson, can't find the net.
Woeful.
But here we have Mr. Tyreek, or should I say Sir Tyreek George. Remember the name. Comes on and 5 minutes?
Around that time. Yeah.
Finds the net. Just bangs it. Finds the net.
Doesn't think about it. Just shoots.
And I'm like, this is what we needed for a long time.
Imagine.
This is what we needed for a long time because before that,
It was scary.
now let me talk about it. We started off the game, and I could tell from the literally beginning of the game that both teams weren't playing their best. I felt like Fulham just had that little bit of a notch over Chelsea, and that's how they managed to get their goal, early. It was Iwobi who was able to score for them. And at that point, I'm realizing, man, here we go again. Chelsea, we have such a high and always drop. When it comes to the end of the season, we always have a job. And we need this. We need this to stay in the top 5 to secure that UCL placement next year.
And Fulham was playing like the team that wanted to make the top 4, even though they have nothing to fight for.
I'm telling you, man, Fulham looked like they had just came out the chicken shop, got a good freaking meal, chips, chicken, drink, but the only thing they forgot was the sauce. And who came in with the sauce in the second half? Chelsea.
They did indeed.
Keeping West London blue, Chelsea came through. Now, whether it was Tyreek George or whether it was Fernando or Enzo Fernando. It was a Pedro Neto that scored, actually.
Pedro Neto,
yes,
yeah.
it was Pedro Neto.
Banger.
That was crazy. Did you
I
see that?
screamed when that goal went in. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but it was a good goal.
Man,
It was a good goal.
it was a wonderful goal.
Just a
Man said
touch,
power.
turn, bang.
Power. Bang. He just shot that in the net.
It was a good goal.
And it was the goal that we needed. We just needed to just edge over there. But Chelsea, we need to step up our game. Our next run is very hard. It's probably one of the hardest runs from the teams that are in the top 5 right now. So we need to step up and just make sure if we can secure 3 of those games, then we have secured our spot.
You guys want to go Liverpool, Newcastle, and Forest.
Newcastle, Forest, Man United, and
games.
Everton too. But those 3 games, those are the games that we need.
I think you guys have the hardest or the strongest fixture out of every team that's trying to fight for the top 5.
Exactly.
So you guys got to win at least 3 of those 5 games, and you guys might secure 5th.
Yeah. See,
Might.
It's a maybe and it's scary.
I think you have to be Forest.
We have to. Yeah,
And
100%.
Newcastle.
Yes.
Those two games, I think, will define where you are,
Where we are
on the table.
and when we end up.
Because if you beat Newcastle, that means because Newcastle, you guys are pretty much not too far away from each other.
2 points difference.
And Forest, if you beat Forest, then you pretty much, depending on what Forest does as well in their own games, I think those two games are the ones you need to focus your time and energy.
We need to put all our focus, energy, and just, you know what I mean, get our youth players up. Because obviously, as we can see, the youth players have once beat our first team, and I think Tyreek George was part of the reason why.
He was scouted from that team.
I feel like he was, because after that, he came out of nowhere.
Chelsea needs to start focusing on bringing in the youth, because we were just talking about this. Bring in the youth, because the youth always have the best for the club in mind.
And they're fresh feet. They're new.
They're fresh. They know what it takes to make it from their youth to the first team. They're loyal. You'll literally fight for everything. So it's not about money. It's not just about money for them. For them, it's the badge is their heart.
It's the badge. It's the loyalty.
So
it's what they've been fighting for most of their life.
You don't have to spend all the time. Look where you are. You've spent $500 million or more than $1 billion on the team, and half the team looks like they don't really care.
Exactly.
But you look, the youth player comes in and he just, does bits.
He shows heart, and that was the best thing about it. He came in, and both games, he just showed heart and he played out.
Yeah.
Whether, it was the excitement of him scoring that goal, he still, most players score a goal and just allow it. But he scored the goal and said, man, I'm going to keep going and show the thing. But yes, for me, man, that was great.
It was great.
I wasn't a big fan of the performance, but I love the result. I'm happy Chelsea moves on with the 3 points. We have risen from the ashes.
A W is a W.
A W is a W. Fulham go home and snooze, man. But in saying that, smash that button as hard as Fulham has smashed their heads after that game. Now, I'll catch you guys at the next game.
Catch ya.